Coming up on Good Morning Texas, you use it to brew your coffee and tea, but did you know it could also heat up your dinner? The many uses for your Keurig ahead.
And which historic Austin dive bar is closing its doors for good?
And Jonathan Drawer shows us how to put them up.
All this and more coming up on Good Morning Texas. Good morning, Texas. I'm Luke Menadani.
And I'm Leslie Adamy. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, here's a fun fact to start off your Wednesday. How about this? It is National Play-Doh Day.
Play-Doh.
And of course, for the occasion, I brought some Play-Doh. And apparently, all of Austin got the memo. Because yesterday when I went to go buy some, this was the last one, like in the shelf. I'm not kidding you. This was the only one, and it's actually one of my favorite colors, so I was cool with it. But I ended up having to get this one, this like fun factory, just so we could have more Play-Doh. But
well, that's fun.
more colors, yeah. It's
Gonna,
getting all nostalgic.
Rev up the imagination here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Make some fun little toys, bring back the nostalgia, the memories of childhood.
Absolutely, and I mean, I've never been the most crafty with my Play-Doh, but maybe for like us college students, it could be like a good, like stress reliever. But my creativity doesn't go beyond making the balls and the snakes. So.
Well, it's stressful if you eat it, right?
Oh, yeah, you should
I remember
not for consumption.
I remember it being salty whenever I was a kid. I won't taste it today.
Okay, not today, but good for, I guess, sodium. Well, clearly we're getting the most out of our Play-Doh right here at the news desk, but are you really getting the most out of your Keurig at home? Turns out it can help you get more than just your morning cup of joe. Marivel Santiago shows us how.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to use your very own Keurig to make some of the most instant meals even easier for you. Having a Keurig doesn't mean it only has to be used for coffee. You can also use the hot water for breakfast, such as oatmeal. All you have to do is pour a cup of oatmeal into the bowl, then pour some hot water from the Keurig. Let the oatmeal sit for a minute, and you're good to go. Another time you can use the hot water on your Keurig is during lunch hours. And when you're on a college budget, ramen is definitely the way to go. The same rules apply for ramen. Pour some hot water onto the dry noodles, let it sink for 2 minutes, then mix the flavor packet together to have some instant ramen. The last thing you can make with the hot water on your Keurig is definitely hot chocolate. Unlike the two meals, use a mug to pour the hot contents of the chocolate, dispense the hot water into the mug, mix it all together, and it's ready. Aside from making your daily coffee, I hope these hot water tricks will help you find more ways to use your Keurig more efficiently. Reporting for GMTX, I'm Marivel Santiago.
Well, how cool. I personally don't drink coffee, so I've never really used a Keurig before, any coffee maker for that matter, but maybe I will to make, you know, some ramen or pasta. You know, we're on that college kid salary.
Yeah, you always have to be creative and figure out different ways to use all the appliances that you have, especially in the dorm rooms and, I mean, like while you're in your apartment with your roommates. Like I know my roommate had a Keurig. I used it every once in a while, but yeah, it's nice to know that you can do different things.
I'm a little skeptical though of my ramen or whatever I choose to make tasting a little bit like coffee. I mean, I like coffee flavored things. I like coffee flavored candy, I like coffee flavored ice cream. I like the smell of coffee, but coffee flavored ramen, the chicken, beef, coffee flavor, I don't think that'll taste too good, but I mean, it's worth a try.
Well, coffee's for the morning, alcohol's for the night, right?
I suppose.
If people are getting fun.
You're into that.
Well, after more than 40 years of music and memories and alcohol, Hole in the Wall might be closing its doors. It turns out the owner and his landlord are having disagreements about renewals. The menu regulars. Hole in the Wall might be closing. A petition has been started to declare the Hole in the Wall a historical landmark. The petition has almost 3,000 signatures.
I think another piece of what makes Austin so unique is being destroyed. possibly because of greed and runaway growth that is not being controlled.
Well, that's kind of sad. I've never been to Hole in the Wall, but I mean, since I've been here, and I know for several years before then, I know it's been a huge thing on the drag. It's one of the only things on the drag that's still here from my freshman year. You know, everything's just like being torn down or renovated, or it's just everything's changing, and that's something that's been there forever. And I feel very bad for the regulars.
I know. I feel like that's happening all around Austin. You know, I know some other music venues were also in danger of being closed or are being closed and changing. So it's something that, you know, people are fighting for in Austin, to try to keep it weird, keep it the same,
Austin,
keep it the way it should be. You know, but you know, you have population growth, got different people moving in. Gotta have a little change.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe one day before we can go check it out. I feel like I should. Well, Austin ranks #1 as the hardest drinking city in America according to a Forbes study, and driving while intoxicated is a cause of growing concern. However, UT student government is taking steps to reduce the numbers of university students driving drunk. Our Connor Barrick has the story.
Last year, the University of Texas student government initiated a campus-wide transportation service called UT Safe Ride. This program was put into place to heighten student safety and provide an additional option for returning home.
We can save people from, getting in an accident, from drinking and driving. I think that's very useful.
This program helps reduce the number of drunk drivers.
It's not really a secret that people drunk drive from 6th Street. So we approach Student Services Council about making a drunk driving prevention program.
And it's a simple process for getting a ride.
You have a guy sitting out with a clipboard who will sign you in and give you an estimate of how long it's going to take to get your car back.
UT students coming home from 6th Street can come here to the corner of Sanjack and 8th Street, where they can get into a UT Safe Ride and have it take them home to West Campus or in Riverside.
If it continues to be as successful as it is, hopefully we can get that expanded into North Campus and other areas around Austin that have high student population.
Although the program has run into some financial problems.
The student government has been working with PTS to try and find funding.
But without funding, the future of this program remains unclear. Connor Barrick, Good Morning Texas.
That's a great program they started by UTSG.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. So to come, your top stories and a look at this week's weather forecast.
Thanks for watching Good Morning Texas. Well, welcome back to Good Morning Texas. Today we are joined with Cassie Pollock. She's going to be here to tell us about the GOP debate and everything that's we should expect to see.
Cassie, thanks so much for joining us this morning. I know it's probably a little early for you. She's our KVR News political reporter, so Monday night, so very happy to have you in the studio for Good Morning Texas.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the debate's going on tonight. What are the biggest issues that are going to be talked about?
I would definitely say that there's going to be a lot of conversation on some national security issues, some immigration. We have the Iran deal coming up, and also with the immigration crisis going on overseas with Syria. Recently, the White House just announced that we will be accepting over 10,000 Syrian refugees within the next year. And in addition to that, we also have some Planned Parenthood conversation that will probably get started. The Center for Medical Progress has released some videos in recent months, and so those are going to be some of the main hot topics I'm feeling.
So, the GOP, the members are usually, very conservative, looking not to have too much big money spent by the government. But with the refugees coming and all that, and having the Syrian refugees come, that's going to be a lot of expansion of the government, trying to put them into different places and all that. Do you think the candidates are equipped to, talk about those issues and, foreign relations and all that kind of stuff?
I definitely think that maybe, although there may not be as much experience on that front, there's no White House experience quite yet, but I think that they'll definitely be able to have some productive conversation and share some different ideas and thoughts and opinions on how to combat, the influx of immigrants that we'll be receiving.
And then immigration has been a big topic the whole time. domestically. Of course, Donald Trump has already been making his kind of uproar.
Spearheading that as is one of his main hot button topics.
Yes,
Yeah.
he definitely got the ball rolling on that. You know, the Donald Wall, as he calls it, he wants Mexico to pay for that, and he thinks that it's a very plausible thing that can happen if he's elected president. You know, in the past, he's received heat for calling the immigrants that come from, you know, that cross the Mexico border as being rapists and criminals. And on Monday night, he's giving a rally in Dallas, and we had some protests from some, you know, Hispanic groups saying to stop the hate and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see where that conversation goes in coming months.
You know, and I understand, still leading the polls, and I think, I truly do believe Donald Trump has some really good ideas. I do. But he needs to watch his language. Like, you're doing so well, you know, take it, you know.
Yes.
You can calm down. It's okay. Humble yourself. Make some apologies. You'll probably get even more votes.
He's definitely received some heat. You know, the past couple weeks, he called Jeb Bush low energy, and he also said that Jeb Bush needs to be speaking English on the campaign trail. And as a result, Jeb Bush and his campaign actually just this past week released a video of Jeb Bush speaking, you know, Spanish with his wife, Columba Bush. And in addition, you know, in the first GOP debate, you know, kind of got into it with Megyn Kelly, made some comments regarding Rosie O'Donnell, and even more recently than that, he's referred to Carly Fiorina. You know, look at that face is what he's been quoted for. And once again, Carly Fiorina and her campaign shot back with a video saying, look at that face, you know. So I think that candidates in the field are really trying to, you know, not jab back too much with Trump, not to get too involved with that, because we saw what happened with Perry when he did that. You know, Rand Paul is not polling too well after engaging in those remarks, Lindsey Graham. So I think people in the field are just trying to play it easy, trying to, you know, stick to substance.
I mean, I feel like people probably thought he was just going to be, you know, in there for a while to start and then burn out. But then it's a huge field as well. So, you know, with him taking all the media attention, a lot of other people haven't been able to show up. Who does need to kind of give themselves a great foothold in this debate and really show up?
I definitely think that Scott Walker, former governor of Wisconsin, or I'm sorry, current governor of Wisconsin, I think that he really needs to step up. You know, at the very beginning, he's in the polls, double digits. After the first debate, he didn't really shine as much as I think, you know, he was anticipating. Since then, his campaign numbers have dropped to single digits. He's lost, you know, the front runner status and, you know, the title in Iowa and for the caucus. And so I think that he really needs to step up, you know, just kind of make himself, you know, get himself in the conversation and everything.
And then there are a few more debates coming on throughout the campaign season as well. After this one, who do you think will be still left in the game?
Oh gosh, it's a tough call right now just because we're still, you know, over a year out. I think that you have Ben Carson, you have Donald Trump, you have Ted Cruz, you have Jeb Bush, you know, Scott Walker maybe. So it's all just going to kind of depend on what their next moves are and how they decide to kind of, you know, route the next bit of their campaign.
Well, thank you, Cassie. Clearly, a lot to look forward in tonight's debate. That will be aired tonight on CNN at 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern. You can catch Cassie with the latest in politics and legal news Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on the news show at TSTV called Polytalks. Thanks so much for joining us, Cassie.
Thank you so much for
here
having
on
me.
Good Morning Texas. Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. Joining us in the studio today is UT Junior Jonathan Dror. Jonathan, great to have you.
Thanks
for stopping
me.
by. It's early. Is it too early for you? What time do you usually wake up?
You know, I usually get out of bed around 9, so it's nice to see the world a little earlier.
The calm before the
calm,
storm.
Yeah, you don't see campus this quiet typically.
And there's people out right now. They're getting their fitness in. They're running around.
I'm
so
surprised
props
there's some
to
people
them.
lingering.
maybe they're listening to your new music that you got out.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm very excited to talk about your music video. Before we get to that, I'm very interested in talking about a little about yourself. So you're an economics major, correct?
Right.
But clearly you have a great talent in music. How do you, and you're part of the a cappella group here on campus, the UT Ransom Notes, correct?
Right.
How do you balance the two?
You know, it's really hard, especially when we were getting ready to film the video, because there's so much that went into it. So the hardest part was finding a balance, and my parents are fully supportive, but their main thing was like, you're here for school. As long as that's still doing fine, we're great.
School is first.
So I definitely wanted to focus on that, but it's great that I can kind of pursue my other passion at the same time.
What did they think when they saw that you were getting all this popularity and these views on your music video?
Yeah, they loved it. They were just so proud, and they're my biggest fans. So it's been really supportive, and it's been great to kind of have them there.
When did you film it? Was it like in the summer, like right before school?
Right, so we filmed it at the end of May, so it was right around finals. So it
Oh,
was kind of
goodness.
the craziest month of my life, trying to fit in all like the logistics and planning and just finding where we're gonna shoot and having to study for like 4 tests and do all those essays. So
Wow.
definitely the craziest time
Doing
ever.
the most, absolutely. How long did it take to, did y'all film over like a few days, or how did the production process go? Did y'all edit a few days?
Yeah, so we filmed for 3 full days from like 6 a.m. to 11 o'clock, and it was back to back to back, and I don't know how I did it. Like looking back, those were the longest days ever, but I think because I just loved what I was doing, and I was really like passionate and finally excited that we're getting this going, so that kind of got me through that. And then the editing we had all summer because we wanted to release it right around game day. So we had all summer to kind of, you know, pick and choose different parts we like and kind of really take our time with that and make it perfect.
And now that school and football season are in full swing, has your video been getting even more attention? Is it being shared more?
Right, yeah, it's been amazing. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been out for a couple months because so much has happened, and it hit these bigger numbers than I expected in a faster time than I expected. So I'm just so pleased, and I'm happy all of our hard work and all my friends that helped out, and I'm happy it really paid off.
Who were you able to work with on the project?
So there are 2 RTF students, Eric Stern and Rigel Benton, that really took over the whole filming aspect of it, and they were amazing. And then a former UT student, Walter Nichols, did all the music production and helped me record. So a lot of really talented people.
Awesome, and I know there's a few little UT celebrities on there, from football players to our UT government president and vice president. How was it like working with them all on set, and how did you even think to like incorporate these people into your music video?
Right. So I thought it would be fun to kind of get some familiar campus faces in the video, and that would kind of even help with the buzz of it. And I've come to know a lot of those people over the last year in my time here at UT. So when I told them about the idea, they just absolutely loved it and wanted to be involved. And I'm in student government as well, so we kind of wanted to show like the former and current president, vice presidents, kind of showing that student government wants to increase school spirit and kind of just get different sides of it.
Nice, how much fun. And I know that I guess your inspiration came from the wanting to be on the UT campus Snapchat story.
Yeah.
How did that come about? You just thought, you know, I'm going to take an extra step. I'm going to make a music video. I'll definitely get on the Snapchat story for sure.
Yeah, I mean, last year, right when the campus story came out, and everyone was kind of like, how do I get on it? Everyone was like trying to figure out how do you get noticed and picked. I was just sitting in my room one day, and I kind of like write music and dabble with all of that, and I just wrote like these few lines that I thought sounded a little catchy about UT, and it got on, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome. But then what I didn't expect was people to yik yak and tweet about it and recognize me, and I was like, I'd never expected that to lead to that. So that 10-second video then turned into a whole video, whole music video. So it's amazing how that inspired it all.
How exciting. And anything, can we expect any more music from you in the future?
Right.
Or is it just school for right now?
So I'd love to do more music. This first month's kind of crazy with school just starting up, but I'd love to do more music, more in the sound and style that I want to be as an artist, more R&B, hip hop, I felt like this was a great like hip hop catchy way to enter and get noticed, and it created a lot of buzz. So from here, hopefully I can go more in the direction I want to be.
Great. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for stopping by. We really love having you on set.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely.
All right, now let's take a look at the music video.
Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. You know we counting down the game day, hook 'em hard, tailgating all through the night till early morning. Don't need to we're done, cause we're number one. See 'em Longhorns run. Don't need to we're done, cause we're number one. See 'em Longhorns run. Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. You see us cruising down the drag, we looking fly. Your chicks are staring cause you know they wanna ride. Drive by slow, put on a show, coming through with people. Drive by slow, put on a show, coming through with people. Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. Put 'em up for the Texas, put 'em up for the fight, put 'em up for the burnt orange, and put 'em up for the white. You see us strolling down that 6th Street Boulevard. You know we squatted up tonight, we're going hard. Girls to the left, girls to the right, it's going down tonight. Girls to the left, girls to the right, it's going down tonight. Put 'em up for the
All right, that was a look at Put 'em Up by Jonathan Dror. Thank you so much for joining us today in studio.
And thank you for waking up early, bright and early with us this Wednesday morning. For updates throughout the week, follow us on our Twitter at Good Morning Texas. Have a marvelous morning. We'll see you back here next week. Don't forget to put 'em up.